Coming up on All Access.
Jets, Jets are next. How angry do you think the Jets are going to be?
I really don't know. It's really all about us and kind of just, executing our assignments,
I like that.
So that's kind of, my approach personally.
We all know who the best Patriot player of all time is, but we're going to chat about who is the second best Patriots player.
Well, this one's a tougher one for me because I love Andre Tippett and I fear him because his office is right across from mine.
Following my two brothers at the high school that we all went to, I had a lot of weight on my shoulders because of how dominant my two older brothers were in football, in high school football. Like when you hear the Tavai name, our last name, it was just like, oh, those guys, those are the Costa guys that were whooping butt,
Jets do a good job down in the red area, and this is Robinson, so they get the screen here. You can see Jets get two guys out here on the screen. There's really nobody, and Robinson kind of does the rest here, splits the defense, and pops it in there. So, big win for the Jets. They'll be riding high coming in here.
It's back to work for the Patriots after a much-needed bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Patriots All Access presented by GEICO. I'm Steve Burton. Hopefully, a weekend rest helped refuel the Patriots' tanks because they're going to need it as they prepare for 3 games in 12 days. None more important than this Sunday's rematch with the New York Football Jets. Dan Roach checks in on the Pats.
They've had a chance to refresh and rest thanks to their bye weekend, but now they begin a stretch of 3 games in 12 days starting Sunday.
I try not to think of how many games in a certain amount of days. I feel like mentally that can psych you out. Just try to take it one game at a time.
Last year after the bye, New England came out and dropped 3 of its next 4 games. Fans are hoping history doesn't repeat itself.
We can't take anything for granted, and we just need to stay in the moment. What happened last year is obviously not going to have any bearing on this team and what happens this year.
Jones, he throws it right, dive to the end zone, touchdown, Patriots!
As for this year, this week, it's the Jets on Sunday, a team the Pats have beaten 13 straight times.
Nothing you've done before this moment, nothing before the bye week, none of that stuff matters. What matters is the game on Sunday.
However, a challenging part of this week will be facing an AFC East opponent for the second time in just 3 weeks.
It's exciting. There's something special about playing division teams. Obviously, our division's a super tight race right now. We've got a great challenge in front of us, a great opportunity.
The Patriots beat the Jets 22-17 at MetLife Stadium, a game that left the Jets disappointed and angry.
The reason why it's so hard to beat another team is because they have that nasty taste in their mouth. So our mentality's got to be a bully mentality. We got to be ready to be physical at every point of attack.
In that first meeting, the Pats defense forced 3 Zach Wilson interceptions. Advantage Patriots?
I don't think he's going to do that again. I think if you look at the Buffalo game, they kind of found the recipe of how they want to play, and it's completely opposite of how they played in our game. Definitely expect him to come out and be a different player.
As for the Patriots offense, it's been a work in progress, and Mac Jones assessed the bye week work that he put in.
For me, just making sure my feet and eyes are in the right place and continue to go through my reads and continue to improve in the weight room, nutrition, all that stuff. So it's a full audit of yourself, I guess you can call it.
One possible big boost for the offense will be the return of David Andrews, who missed the past 2 games due to a concussion.
Doing good. Excited to be back. Get to go play the game I love, so excited.
So with the Patriots coming off the bye, this now begins a crucial 3 games in 12-day stretch for this team. And of course, the big one Sunday against the Jets, it could go a long way in deciding the AFC East. That's why it's fun, right? For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Roachy, thank you very much. Now starts the second half of the season. It's not too soon to take a look at the standings. All 4 teams are jumbled up. And if the Pats beat the Jets on Sunday, both teams would be 6-4. Here's the thing. If the playoffs were to begin now, and we know they don't, but if they did, all 4 teams in the AFC East would be in. including the Patriots, who currently hold the 7th and final spot.
Look who's here in the studio with us today. That would be the Patriots' Devin McCourty.
Being at CBS was awesome. I think, as you get older, you have different interests, you want to do things, and I got to not only be on TV and do those things, but I got to really see how everything works. I would call it the behind the scenes of what makes a good show run.
I did your game in Thanksgiving 2010, one of my favorite plays, and I want to see what you were doing on this play here. It's a drop back pass. Here, Calvin Johnson aside. You get the interception. Look at those uniforms. Look at you running. And who makes the tackle? Oh, you just get crushed.
Oh, who is that?
Some aggression, man. It's Nate Burleson
See that?
on the tackle.
You see that?
I had him all up here with it.
He had the tough guy walk off the field, too.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Because you didn't want no smoke.
That was the love that, man. I was a young pup.
My bad, man. My bad.
So for me, just being around all those guys that I grew up watching, guys that I look up to, especially for what they do now after, whatever careers they were in, it was an honor for me to be out there with them and just took a lot of different nuggets away from everybody I got to work with.
This man right here, an absolute monster. What is it like when he gets past the first level, the second level, and he's barreling down towards you?
It's almost like tackling one of those top defensive ends, like a Matt Judon, who runs 4-5, will run you over. The guy gets excited when he sees me in the secondary. I don't like that too much. Everything just felt like it moved so fast. For all the time we put in, we got on and the show starts running. It felt like I blinked and it was just all right, last segment. We got 30 seconds to wrap this up and it was over. So it was really cool to see that and to experience and learn from it. And it's a reminder, do your job. If you're a player who's supposed to play to run, play to run. If you're supposed to play to pass, play to pass. Don't try to mix those jobs because then these guys will continue to score touchdowns.
How many times in your life have you heard, do your job?
A lot.
Coming up on All Access.
Surprised at all the one-handed grabs? We'll hear from one person who is not.
The NFL, it sure is. These quarterbacks and receivers are going to get the ball into some impossible spots. I think back to the Super Bowl with Ryan hitting Julio Jones on the sideline. That was an impossible throw, and you see some of the impossible catches.
And later, we follow Jahlani Tavai's path to the NFL.
I think the first time I was exposed to was when I got to see my two older brothers play football back in Inglewood. I was probably, I want to say second grade. I just remember when they brought their shoulder pads and helmets home and tried it on, and I was like, I think I'm ready to play this.
We're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. By Ace Ticket, where New England fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Visit aceticket.com. By Pepsi, Patriots watching better with Pepsi. And by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off.
I'm Tamara Brown, and you're watching the Social Media Minute. Before the bye week began, quarterback Mac Jones went to visit the Jordan Boys and Girls Club. He paid a visit to the Play 60 ambassadors and also surprised them with letting them know that he was dedicating his My Cause, My Cleats to the nonprofit organization. It was a busy week in the community for the New England Patriots, who hosted a Special Olympics football championship, a cheer competition, and a wheelchair football clinic at Gillette Stadium. In addition to Jalen Mills being present, there were also local CPD officers volunteering at the events too. You were probably wondering why there was a Patriots presence in Germany over the weekend. Well, the New England Patriots were awarded Germany as their home market. So the NFL's first game in Germany over the weekend was the kickoff for more Patriots international content to come. That's all for this week's Social Media Minute. We'll see you next week.
Ooh, best dressed teammate, I'd have to say Matthew Judon or Jalen Mills. Best dancer, Dietrich Wise. Jawan Bentley. Ooh, Mac Wilson. Devin McCourty. Also Devin McCourty. Marcus Cannon. Mac Wilson. Ooh, DeMarcus Mitchell.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access, everyone. Joining me now is Patriot linebacker Josh Uche. Good to see you, my man.
Thank you for having me.
How was your bye week?
Bye week was good, relaxing. You know, me and my girlfriend went out, got some dinner, you know, got a little couples massage and just chilling, man. Just trying to, you know, relax a little bit before we kick things back up. So
I always wondered, do players watch football during the bye week?
Honestly, I didn't watch too much football. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely had NFL Red Zone on just to catch
Red Zone.
Some of the big things going on. But like sitting down and watching a full game, nah, not really.
So probably boring to you, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Third year here. How's it going for you? How do you like it here?
Can't complain. I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed. You know, I have an opportunity to go out there and have fun with my brothers and just trying to come in every day and just maximize that opportunity. So I'm just blessed to sum it up. So.
How do you think this defense is progressing?
I mean, we've always known what we're capable of. I mean, all the guys on the team gel well together and we all play hard for each other. And, you know, it's just things are clicking, everyone's doing their job, and, you know, everyone else is kind of finally seeing what we always knew all along. So
you guys are coming on. Does it help you having a guy like Matt Judon on the other side?
Of course. I mean, that's like, in my eyes, a Hall of Fame player, and I'm blessed enough to just, you know, every day come in, talk to him, hang out with him outside the facility.
You being humble.
I mean, no, that's the truth, bro. Like that guy he's everything, you know what I'm saying? As a football player and just as a person in general, it's like, you know, that's something I've always wanted, was just kind of like that big brother to, you know, give me some of the, you know, tips and trades of the game. So.
And he's like that?
Of course, yeah, of course. Like, Judon is not a selfish person by any means, and, you know, he's all about, you know, helping the other guys, the younger guys especially, and he takes them under their wings, and, you know, I'm blessed to have, you know, Drew in my life. So.
I know sacks are big in your eyes, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun always watching you guys deliver the sack, but how important is it to you to set the edge? How important is that to you?
I mean, it's everything. I mean, really just doing my job is the most important thing, you know. Sacks, so they'll come, you know, if they come, but like, as long as I'm doing my job and my coaches have that trust in me that I'm, you know, gonna execute my assignment, that's really all I care about.
You're good at setting the edge.
I'm getting it. It's a work in progress, you know, and every day I'm just trying to get better at it.
How hard is it?
I mean, nothing in football is necessarily easy, and it's just like, it's just this ever-evolving process of like, just, you know, there's always something you can improve on. So, you know, it's difficult to find and pinpoint those specific things to work on, but once you do, it kind of just becomes like homework, if you will.
Jets, Jets are next. How angry do you think the Jets are going to be?
I really don't know. It's really all about us and kind of just, you know, executing our assignments, you know.
I like that.
So that's kind of, you know, my approach personally, and, you know, so.
All right. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
Against the Jets.
Yes, sir.
Josh Uche, I guess we'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
It was a quick trip down the road for our Coach of the Week award to Bishop Feehan High School, where we salute Bishop Feehan head coach Brian Pinabel as our high school Coach of the Week. The Shamrocks are rolling with 6 wins in a row and are 1 win away from a Division II Super Bowl berth at Gillette Stadium. Presenting the award is Patriots and Pro Football Hall of Famer Andre Tippett.
And the thing about winning, no matter where you are, it brings the community together like crazy. And the support that you get and the love that's thrown at you.
The Patriots Charitable Foundation will donate $1,000 to the Bishop Feehan High School football program in the name of head coach Brian Pinabel.
First thing I thought about was how much of a team award this is, and how much it's a reflection of our players and their hard work, sacrifice of our coaches, the support of our administration and our community.
What do they run? Gellinger clapping his hands, he takes it. Here comes Judon and the quarterback.
Matthew Judon has 11.5 sacks through 9 games this year, which leads the NFL. The Patriots' single-season sack record is held by Pro Football Hall of Famer Andre Tippett, who had 18.5 sacks in 1984.
Tippett's got the sack for the second time.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access here on the bye week. Bye week's officially over. Coach, it's good to see you again. Look a little relaxed. You get some time away?
Yeah, it was good. It's good to relax a little bit. And now we get back on these Jets.
Well, you're going to need it too. 3 games in 12 days. We're going to not talk about those other 2 games. But you looked at the Jets tape, and I know you played them recently. But when you flip on that Bills-Jets game, what do you take away from those 2 teams and how competitive that game was down at the Meadowlands?
Yeah, well, a really competitive game. We know the Jets are a good team. Their record speaks for itself, and we certainly had our share of problems with them down there. But they're explosive offensively, and they're very good defensively, especially their front, and they're strong in the kicking game. So they're a well-balanced team, and we've got a lot of young players that have a lot of energy, play with a lot of confidence, and and some experienced players too. Obviously, guys like Mosley that are a big problem, but they're a well-balanced team.
There are challenges that come with playing a team, quickly on a quick turnaround. There's also the bonus that you did a lot of prep going into. But what are some of the challenges that you sort of got to prevent yourself or watch for when you play a team that quick?
Well, I think just the expectation that the game is going to be like it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's not. So things won't match up the same, and different plays will match up against different calls, and there may be some new plays, and you have the unexpected plays in the games, the turnovers, the explosive plays, and so forth that pop up that change the dynamics of the game. So it'll all be different, like it always is.
We sit here and we put the Bellastrator on, and you're like, watch a motor of this guy, watch a motor of this guy. You mentioned Mosley. How important is it for some guys that haven't played, some of your young guys, to see what Quinnen Williams' motor is in person, what Mosley's motor is in person, to be sort of ready, not to say that you get caught sleeping, but, man, these guys know how to step it up.
Yeah, well, I think for, young players, especially on the offensive line like Cole, that was a valuable experience, but, a lot of our defensive players that young guys have played, but really it's good for everybody. Even if you've played guys before, each year things change a little bit, and sometimes the players improve or the scheme changes or something's a little bit different, and so it's always, those experiences are all good.
Yeah, and you'll be ready for them. I remember post-game, that was a pretty ticked-off Jets locker room, and they said, can't wait to get those guys again in 2 or 3 weeks. Do you subscribe to the theory that a little bit of a hornet's nest, we're going to get an angry team coming in here on Sunday?
Well, it's always tough against the Jets. It's a very competitive game, and teams don't particularly like each other. They play hard, and I'm sure we'll get that again on Sunday.
All right, sounds great. Time now for the Ace Ticket Twitter question of the week, and it comes from @AskMaxH. Being a bye week, you probably watch a lot of college football, a lot of pro football. One of the biggest themes in pro football are the one-handed catches, these great one-handed catches some of these receivers are making. Now, is that a double-edged sword that, wow, there's a lot of talent, you got to appreciate the talent, but it's also, there's really good coverage there too. What is your take on this, these great catches, like the Odell Beckham catch from years ago? You saw Jefferson make them, Diggs makes them. The plays seem to be defended, but guys covered, but the play's always alive, right?
In the NFL, it sure is. These quarterbacks and receivers can get the ball into some impossible spots. I think back to the Super Bowl with Ryan hitting Julio Jones on the sideline. That was an impossible throw, and you see some of the impossible catches. Certainly, we've seen a couple of those in Super Bowls too. That just how do these guys come up with the ball? But that's the National Football League. A lot of talent, a lot of skill. Great skill, and nothing surprises you anymore with what these players can do, how athletic they are, and the quality of their hand-eye coordination is elite. So, until the ball's on the ground and it's not in their hands, you better keep fighting to get it out.
What would Lester Hayes say back in the day with all the green stick-em?
Yeah, right. Couldn't drop those.
Couldn't drop those. All right. If you want to ask the coach a question, you have to follow the team on Twitter, @Patriots, #AskBB. Coach, Bellastrator against the Jets. They got a new wrinkle, new back. Did you see a screen pass from him?
Yeah, you bet. Steve Robinson in there.
All right, sounds good. We'll have the Bellastrator for you later to show more Patriots All Access. We'll return right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
Who is the second best player in franchise history?
Well, this is an easy one for me as a kid who grew up in the 80s. It's Andre Tippett. I mean, he was New England Patriots football when I was growing up there in the mid-80s.
But I'm going to go with John Hanna because I just think true greatness shows in a 10-time All-Pro. He was the Patriots franchise.
And later, Bill Belichick goes inside the Jets' big win over Buffalo on the Velustrator.
Carter's able to hit it down inside and, get in there for an easy touchdown. They get a 14-10 game at halftime, and then, of course, they end up winning on a, last-minute field goal. So
you're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. By AdCare. Be recovery strong. Speak up. Reach out. Ask for help. Call AdCare at 800-ALCOHOL. And by Gillette Labs with exfoliating bars. Effortless shave in one efficient stroke.
On today's Great Debate. It's no debate who the greatest player in Patriots franchise history is. A better question? Who's second best? John Hanna or Andre Tippett?
Tippett knocks the ball free. Patriots recover.
Both are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sports Illustrated called Hanna the greatest offensive lineman of all time back in 1981. So it's him, right? Well, Tippett and his franchise-leading 100 all-time sacks beg to differ. This is Paul Perillo. He believes John Hanna's dominance on the O-line was so massive that number 73 is the second best ever. This is Mike Dussault. He believes Tippett was a one-man wrecking crew, which makes him number one in the race to be number two. And this is Tamara Brown, your host of The Great Debate.
I'm Tamara Brown here at 6th String Grill and Stage at Patriot Place in Foxborough. Welcome to The Great Debate. We all know who the best Patriot player of all time is, but we're going to chat about who is the second best Patriots player. It's time for opening statements. And Mike, you're on the mic. You're up first.
Well, this is an easy one for me as a kid who grew up in the 80s. It's Andre Tippett. I mean, he was New England Patriots football when I was growing up there in the mid-80s, going to a Super Bowl, number 56. It was Lawrence Taylor. It was Andre Tippett. He was my favorite player. I think it's on him. Easy, easy, easy.
Paul?
Well, this one's a tougher one for me because I love Andre Tippett and I fear him because his office is right across from mine. But I'm going to go with John Hanna because I just think true greatness shows in a 10-time All-Pro. He was the Patriots franchise for so many years, and I know it's an offensive lineman, not a glamorous position, but to be the greatest offensive lineman of all time, he's got to be number 2 on the Patriots list.
Paul, we're going to stick with you as we start to pound the table.
I just thought that Hanna was so athletic and so revolutionary as an offensive lineman, the way that they did everything with him pulling in those unbelievably iconic pictures, Mike, of the 85 playoff run. At the end of his career at this point, too, he's getting out and leading Craig James and Tony Collins around the end. Just an absolutely dominant player.
I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, it's John Hanna. What am I going to say about him? But, I never really appreciated the finer points of guard play as a kid. For me, it was all about the sacks, and that was Andre Tippett. And again, he does work right around the corner from us, so I think I'm feeling pretty good about sticking with Tippett.
Terry Tate at office linebacker at any minute, so you do have to worry about that.
I'm going to have to go with Mike on this one. The excitement of Andre Tippett on the field. I'm sorry, it's a little better than Hanna. Okay. I'm sorry, Paul. Okay. You'll get him next time in our next debate. It's fine. We're all out of time for this one. We'll be back with another great debate
soon.
This player profile is brought to you by Pepsi.
In his second season with New England, linebacker Jahlani Tavai has carved out a unique role on the Patriots defense, moving around to different positions and contributing on all 4 downs. And on the latest installment of The Journey, presented by Akonis Hub Tech, we follow Tavai's path to the NFL.
Respect the journey, respect the work. I need to be on top, so you know my worth.
I think the first time I was exposed to it was when I got to see my 2 older brothers play football back in Inglewood. I was probably, I want to say 2nd grade. I just remember when they brought their shoulder pads and helmets home and tried it on, and I was like, I think I'm ready to play this. thought the equipment was cool. I didn't know the sport yet, but I thought wearing all those pads gave me like some superpowers, you know. And we're still competitive to this day, you know. It kind of fuels me to make a play on Sundays or whatever day we play. So I'm always trying to one-up them no matter what we're doing, whether it's play football, rugby, little card games. So that's pretty cool.
Let's go!
Following my two brothers at the high school that we all went to, I had a lot of weight on my shoulders because of how dominant my two older brothers were in football, in high school football. Like when you hear the Tavai name, our last name, it was just like, oh, those guys, those are the Costa guys that were whooping butt, you know? Because I had that dog mentality and that the competitiveness in me, I always strive to either become as good or even better than both of them. Of course, I was a fan of my older brothers. Those were no doubt the first two guys that I looked up to. It was awesome, you know. Really good community out there. They always take care of their own, and once I bought into that culture and understood what they've been through and what they're trying to build, it was a no-brainer that I belonged there, you know. It was nice out there, man. I can't complain much. Like I said before, if it wasn't for my family in that time to motivate me and you know, just whisper in my ears like, bro, you can do it. Like, luckily I have my older brothers too, because they've been through it as well. The one that we're really focused on is the one in high school. We're trying to make sure he stays on path with what we as a family have like been doing, you know. Like, it's been awesome that 5 of us, like my parents, they didn't have to pay for any of our education. We were given some full scholarships, and it's nice because so far, all of us has graduated already, so we got our degrees, and yeah, so we hope that our youngest brother and our sister find their way as well to do what they love and you know, what we love too. I don't know, I feel like it's pretty similar out here to LA in its own way, you know. But yeah, I would just say the weather. It's cold out here. It's actually a pretty cool environment whenever it's snowing. Like last year's Buffalo game, I don't ever want to do that again, but it was cool to just see how crazy like things could get and how good we can like prevail in those kind of games.
Yeah, we spent a day together out there at UCLA. And Matt drafted him in the second round. Yeah. So, yeah, we didn't really get a shot on, but we always get our man. Not always. Usually, sometimes we get our man. Second time around.
To be honest, I'm flattered. You know, dang, I didn't know that. But I'm happy to know that they've always had their eye on me, and I'm glad to be playing here, you know, in New England. I'm just gonna stay level-headed and just keep my head down and keep grinding for the guys on the defensive side.
Wilson in pursuit. Now Wise throws it. A throw downfield. Yes! Intercepted. McCourty's got another. Bailey got it down. The kick is lifted to the uprights. That kick is good. Nick Folk delivers.
It's only been 3 weeks since the two teams last met, with each team enjoying a bye last weekend. In between, the Jets beat the Bills at the Meadowlands for their most impressive win of the year. A win on Sunday would mean the Jets are in first place in the AFC East.
Divisional games are always important because there's ramifications way down the line from a scenario standpoint. But it really is just another championship opportunity. I get it's the Patriots, and I get it's big for the fans and some of the people upstairs in the business department, our ownership and all that stuff. But for us as coaches, players, the main thing, you got to keep the main thing, and that this is another championship opportunity versus another championship football team, and we've got to play at a championship level.
Oh, they got a phenomenal team, man. They got a phenomenal quarterback, great O-line, Hall of Fame coach, man. So that's the biggest thing, man. Them guys very physical up front, very technique, very disciplined, man. We got challenge ahead of us, so we got to come ready to play and come ready to do the things that the Jets do.
Time now for the Belichick coach, New York Jets. Just saw him a couple weeks ago. How things changed for them?
Well, this is a big win for him against Buffalo, and this is the first drive of the game. So the Bills get the ball, they drive it right down the field, and this is going to be a bootleg pass here. And Gardner, number one, is the corner up on top. He's going to take the flag pattern, and then Whitehead, after the fake, is going to come out and take the tight end coming out to the flat here after they block and come out. Whitehead takes him. Gardner's back here. This is Josh Allen rolling out after the fake, and Whitehead makes the interception. So a big play right here at the start of the game. Bills are down there in scoring territory, and big turnover here for the Jets. Getting the ball back, and you can see the energy that they've got on the sideline now. And then, so right before the half, Bills are up 14-3. Jets drive it down. And again, this is a big play too. The touchdown versus the field goal here, but just the zone play in here to Carter. And Bills are definitely in a kind of a pass coverage mode here. And Carter's able to hit it down inside and get in there for an easy touchdown. Make it a 14-10 game at halftime, and then of course they end up winning on a last minute field goal. So big win there, big touchdown before the half. And then to take the lead here, it's 14-10 at the end of the third quarter. And this is another key play for him here. Jets do a good job down in the red area. And this is Robinson, so, with...
newly acquired?
Yeah, with Hall getting hurt, Robinson comes in here. And so they get the screen here. You see Jets get two guys out here on the screen. There's really nobody, just one guy there for the Bills. And Robinson kind of does the rest here, splits the defense, and pops it in there. So, big win for the Jets. They'll be riding high coming in here, and we just saw them a couple weeks ago, so a little bit of a rematch. But we know it's going to take our best game. So
you'll be ready for them. All right, good to have another home game, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, though. Appreciate it.
There you go. There's your Belichick. More Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots. Proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. By Pepsi. Patriots watching? Better with Pepsi. And by Dan O'Brien Auto. Come in to any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan. Keeping it awesome.
Highly overrated. That is just an absolute no.
Ice baths.
Overrated.
Pickles.
Perfectly rated.
Fall in New England.
Perfectly rated.
Lobster rolls.
Underrated. And people love them, and I still think they're underrated. Those things are amazing.
Manicures.
Underrated, for sure. Very underrated.
Pineapple on pizza.
Highly overrated. That is just an absolute no.
Alabama football.
Still underrated. Still to this day. I don't know how. Underrated.
Georgia football.
Oh my God. There's nothing more overrated in the world. Literally nothing.
Labradoodles.
Ooh, underrated. Great dog. Great dog.
Damian Harris.
Perfectly rated.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access, everyone. And I'm Bob's Discount Furniture Studios with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, Steve.
Here's what I love about all this. Patriots didn't even play, and right now, if the season were to end, they're in the playoff picture.
They got a little help. They got a little help from the Chargers and the Niners. Really, That's kind of atypical, Mike, because usually they get a lot of help at the bye. And this week, some of the other teams were on a bye with them. The Jets were on a bye. I think Cincinnati was on a bye. Some of the teams that are bunched up. But hey, all you want is a chance, right? They got a chance.
Right. And anytime you don't play and you move up in the standings,
that's
like the daily double. Boom. So things looking up for the Patriots. Now they got to take that and carry it into the second half of the season.
And now that we're at the second half of the season, what is optimistic about it? What things do you see optimistic about the second half? And then I'll go to pessimistic.
I'm going to surprise you guys with an optimistic one. And I think offensively they have to be better. I just think that they've kind of bottomed out and hit rock bottom here. I think that they have some players like Ramondre Stevenson, like Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne I'd like to see a little more of, Tyquan Thornton. They have some of the pieces in place to be better offensively. I'm optimistic that it will be better. On the other side, the schedule's no joke, Mike.
Yeah. Optimism for me is something no one's talking about, and maybe it's like a no-hitter in baseball that you don't want to mention. I'm going to say good health. Like, look, they have all their guys, pretty much. When you think of David Andrews coming back, Devontae Parker, Christian Barmore, like the main two players they've placed on injured reserve, Marcus Cannon and Ty Montgomery, unless I'm missing one, Paul. Like, I think just health-wise, as they enter what Paul said, tough stretch here in the schedule, 3 games in 12 days, that would be my pessimistic part of it. Like, you're not built as a player. Play 3 games in 12 days, Paul. That's a tough stretch coming out of the bye.
Want my optimism?
Yeah.
Tyquan Thornton.
You love him.
I love him. And I want to see him. He's like a hidden gem. And I want to see him erupt in the second half.
I like it.
It's really interesting because he was so effective, I thought, in the Browns game, but he's been quiet
Just a couple
in
plays,
the last few games. So maybe they can get him going.
I think he's a game changer.
Yeah.
I think he's a game changer. Okay, let's look at this Jets team. And do the Jets have an intangible coming in, knowing that they threw the game away just 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, and I do believe in those kinds of intangibles. I'm not sure that the Jets are ready to do that, but it is reminiscent to me, Mike, of the Buffalo game last year on that Monday night in the terrible weather in Orchard Park, and everybody completely wrote off the Bills after that game. They're done. They can't respond from this, and their season is over. Well, their season wasn't over. And, they came back and they really knocked the Patriots around in 2 subsequent meetings. So I think if the Jets take that kind of mindset and say, hey, we felt like we were the better team, now we need to go out and play like that, I give the Jets a shot. Now, were they mature enough to do that the way Buffalo was? We'll see.
I think they do have an intangible for the reason Paul mentioned, and another one as well. When was the last time they beat the Patriots? Like, you feel like
years ago.
Like 13 straight.
Right?
So you felt like you gave one away just 3 weeks ago. Like, it's one thing if that happened 2 months ago. A lot of the season has passed. Just happened, right? And then you add on to that the recent history. Patriots better be ready. This team is coming in hungry.
Bill Belichick said earlier in the show that don't expect to see the same game twice, right? I mean, just because they played them once and did well, a lot of fans expect to see the same game second time around. 3 weeks ago, what do you expect to see something different in this game?
Well, I'd be absolutely stunned if Robert Saleh went into this game and said, I think it's a good idea if we have Zach Wilson throw 41 passes. And listen, he may still make mistakes. They could throw it 20 times and he could still make some mistakes. But if you throw it 40 plus, you're begging for mistakes. And I think if, in retrospect, they probably took a step back and said, we need to run the ball, we need to punt, we need to play to our defense. That's the strength of our team. You can't allow Zach Wilson to run around and throw the ball that many times.
And on the Patriots side, I think getting David Andrews back at center should help them be a little sturdier at the line of scrimmage. I thought beating the Jets 3 weeks ago, they were able to do that without controlling the line of scrimmage, particularly on offense. And getting Andrews back will give them a better chance to do that against a very good defensive
6 quarterback
front.
sacks in the first meeting. I'm with Mike. I'd be surprised to see 6 more Mac Jones sacks in this one.
As crazy as this sounds, can the defense get even better?
I think they have a chance to in a game like this. Yeah, I think these are the kinds of offenses, Mike, that they really just feast upon when they're a little bit limited with what they can do. They need to have the game go a certain way. They want to run the ball. They want to be conservative, stay out of long yardage. The Patriots don't allow you to do that. They generally will take that one thing away from you. And I think this is the kind of game that the defense can continue that momentum.
And just building off the point of a healthy team, I think they can get better. I mean, when you're talking about adding Christian Barmore back to the defense, where you have everyone else there, how do you not get better when there's a scenario like that? And I think Matthew Judon, as we talked about last week, guys, he's very motivated to, similar to what we just said about the Jets, about what happened last year.
Yeah.
He's been talking about it all year, guys. motivated Matthew Judon, and to me, I would almost make the case. This defense goes as Judon goes. Could you do that?
Yeah,
I mean,
no, he's the
get
best.
away with
He's
that?
the best player over there, no question.
So to me, they could get better.
That being said, prediction time.
I think the Patriots are going to come out of the bye with a win. I think it'll be a tough, hard-fought game, just like the one down there. 19-13, I'll say New England comes away with the win, but they won't make it easy. There'll be a lot of field goals again, and Nick Folk will continue his magic.
Yeah, low-scoring game, always tough, physical, right, when they get together. Taking the home team, Patriots 16-13.
All right, guys. We shall see. And with that being said, both teams will have identical records.
There you go.
Think about that. Yeah. That'll do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access with Mike Weiss and Paul Perillo. I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody.